Coach Buttermaker wouldn't be this bad. I guarantee you that, Stevie boy. Walter Matthau, alive or dead, could do better than Zach did last week. 0 points. Kelly Leak isn't joining the team. Tatum O'Neal. Oh my. Wait, Steve. Time to flashback. Tatum O'Neal. Snap out of big time crush as a kid. I'm coming out. I'll go. As Coach Buttermaker once said, this quitting thing is hard habit to break once you start, baby. And they quit on you, Zach. As Tanner Boyle once said, Zach sort of said, Zach, you can take your apology to the fans and shove it straight up your keister. Keister! Remember, fans, Roman wasn't born today, and as Ogilvy said, yeah, it took several hundred years. So wait till next year is getting old, Bengals fans. We talk about it all. Nerds on the Bad News Bengals edition of the Bang the Drum podcast. Stevie boy.
What up, my man? Oh, I'm hanging in there. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. What do you think about that Bad News Bengals? You like that?
I do.
I don't like it, but that's where we're at.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is. It's where we're at. It's what the news is right now, and we're just trying to deal with it day by day because there's always something.
Yeah, I kind of wish we were competing for the AFC top seed like I feel it should be. Right, talking about when we're going, what playoff games. Because we had a lot to Christmas, but here we are. But one way or the other, we still got a lot to talk about, good or bad. We're indifferent. There's no indifference. It's either good or bad, right?
Yep.
It's either good or bad. It's not good. Seatgate. We're going to start with Seatgate as we're 1 week away from Christmas, my friend. We're recording this on the 18th. 1 week, man. It's hard to believe it.
It's crazy. This year's flew by. The years are flying by a lot damn quicker as we get older, that's for sure.
You hear that a lot when you're younger, right? You're like, bunch of old people, right? The only thing you're getting this. I'm talking to Uncle Terry about this. He says it's changed for him. Of course, he's old. I mean, he's really old. We're not really old like Terry, though, right? We're old. No.
Yeah, we're not dirt old. We're just old.
Methuselah. But he talks about circulation, how you get colder. Right? I still stay pretty warm. You don't, do you?
My feet's back because I got neuropathy. I mean, my hands and feet. But other than that, I mean, I can go out in this weather because I do. You know, I wouldn't call it construction, but I am in maintenance, so I'm out a good bit. So when it's 40, 45, that's good weather for me.
Yeah.
You know, it's just when it's like anybody else, 20, 25.
There's some cold days.
We've had some cold days here lately, and sucks.
Yep, I prefer 95. I'll give you away on so they get 0 degrees. We got 66 here. We were in the garage because of the wind. It would have been nice, but if it wasn't raining and the wind, we could have been outside today, which would have been nice. You know, cool.
Yeah, I actually thought about it. I was like, well, maybe we'll miss it. Nah, we went in close to it.
Yeah, it's raining pretty hard. So. Windy too, coming all the way. It's not as windy as what they said, thankfully. But all right, let's start. We got a lot, as they say, to unpack. Let's start with Seatgate, if you want to call it that, or Icegate, or Snowgate. I just don't know why. Like, I'll throw my quick 2 cents in. I don't know why. You know you're going to catch hell on it. They just don't care. I don't know if they did follow guidelines. I don't know if they didn't. All I know is that you watch, if you watch Hard Knocks in Tennessee's right now, the NFC East, the Giants. They were cleaning seats, and you see it from various other locations where people are posting videos. It's not just a bad look; it's a bad exercise for your fans, your thoughts.
Yeah, and again, it's hard to know because I don't really know the report on this, but I've heard multiple people say that they had over 50 people call in that day.
Could be.
So. They said they tried to get the aisles. They said they tried to get, I guess there was only like multiple gates open. I heard people say that they were a half hour late getting into the game. You know what I mean? And that's bad. You know what I mean? I know tickets end up selling like dirt cheap for that game. It was like whatever, $11 or I don't know. It was something. It was something crazy. But again, people were still wearing freaking garbage bags and everything else. So again, they probably need to wear the plastic ones if they don't want to deal with this shit. So but I mean, it's a bad look. But you know what? Again, if you're going to be a Cincinnati Bengals fan, if you're going to live in Ohio and you're going to root for them, you might as well just get used to it because this is kind of shit that we got to deal with.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. But it's, I do think, like, I saw somebody post today, and I don't know the exact numbers. I think it's, I'll try to give credit here. I can't think of his name right offhand. I think it's Jason Williams from the Inquirer. He's usually pretty harsh on him, right? I don't think he's harsh. I just think he's fair.
Fair.
I think the rest of the media is not fair. They're too biased for the Bengals because they don't want to lose assets. I'm not going to name names. I think they're all pretty much that way. At the end of the day, they almost all cater, right, and worry about a player being mad at him or something. He's probably a little too far the opposite, but he talked about they don't care if you're there or not. The show doesn't sell out. The thing I want to clarify about this before we get to it, I don't think that makes them any different than any other owner. You follow me? I just, there's a few that are probably competitive still, but that said that I've had this debate, as you know. We'll talk about them being cheap, but they get in $400+ million a year based on revenue share. So if they have two people at the game, it probably doesn't really matter. They're still going to bank it, right? So it's still a sellout because they sold all the tickets. So they definitely didn't hurt for this past game. But even if the wheels fell off, the NFL doesn't like a black eye. But the bottom line is they're making so much money. If you want to blame somebody, blame TV, right? That's the problem. Like when you had to compete to get people in the seats or you lose money, then you are more apt to take care of your fans, right? And get more, free agents and that sort of thing. So it's just the kind of way it is. But I'll reiterate this, and I stand by it. The reason the Bengals are losing today and last year and the year before has nothing to do with Mike Brown being cheap. So everybody goes to that thing because it's the easy target, right? And part of that is, the old saying is something like this, marketing PR, I guess, public relations is, if you don't speak for yourself, someone else will speak. And it always happens because they never speak for themselves. Mike Brown, Katie Black, again, it echoes my point, which I've said time and time again. There's no one in that building that knows football, and there's really no one in that building that knows how to handle a business in today's world, right? You get out in front of stuff and talk about it, they're not going to do it. So, do they care about the cheap labor on them? No, they don't. They don't care about anything, I don't think, and that's not a good thing. But the bottom line is that KT, like even Burrow's comments, which we'll get to later, they basically did everything that I'd say he probably wanted, right?
Yep.
So whose fingers do you blame there? I'm not blaming Joe. I'm just saying they did what all the media wanted. Sign T, sign Chase extension, Burrow, bring Trey back. They did all that.
Like T.
They didn't do what I wanted to do, and that's where the problem is. You got a coach who we'll get to later. GM doesn't know what they're doing to him. You agree it's not cheap, has nothing to do with it, or do you think cheap does have something to do with it?
Nope, it ain't got anything to do with being cheap. What it's got to do with the resources they have, doing it the correct way, and that's what it all comes down to. They haven't. So the process hasn't changed. It's the same process from 19 to 20, from 20 to 21, from 21 to 22. They've done nothing different. It's just how they've went about it, and they've chosen the wrong things.
Yep.
They got lucky, or maybe they didn't get lucky. Maybe the draft picks that they picked in 20 and 21 and 22, one, you got to remember, two, they were losing. So they had higher picks in those rounds. So it's less likely you screw them up. When you have to think and you really have to evaluate when you're picking 27th, 29th, there you go again.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it was weird. Hell, even 17th or whatever, there's still something going on there to where you actually have to evaluate. It's hard to mess up on Joe Burrow and Chase, and then when T falls in your lap at first pick, second round. So it has nothing to do with being cheap. It's how you use the resources you have. Now, do I think money has to have something to do with Zach. We'll get into here in a minute, but that'll probably be more like because I know we're going to get to it. But yeah, it has nothing to do with being cheap. It's just how are you going to use those resources that you do have, and they failed at that.
Yep. And to your point, also, like, I don't like the word evolve because evolve assumes that things are better. I don't think the NFL's better. I think it's far worse problems. But they haven't changed what they're doing to adapt to today's game. For example, there goes again. What the hell's going on here? So they haven't done like, you mentioned they've done the same since 2020. They've really done the same since way before that, right? They haven't changed anything. And they haven't changed anything. They have no Super Bowl titles. No corporation outside of it, right? There's not. If you're an elite corporation, mega money, and you're trying to be at the top of whatever you're in, and it hasn't worked with you, you change something. They haven't changed anything, right? So that is a fall of ownership. I don't think it has anything to do with money.
Well, I tell you what, since we're getting into this here, I'm going to go ahead and throw a couple stats out for you if you don't care. So in 2021, the NFL salary cap, this is right after COVID, was $182.5 million. Okay, they drafted Joe Burrow. So Joe Burrow was on that rookie contract, right? So as of 2025, it's $279.2 million. You're almost $100 million. How much is Joe Burrow's and Jamar Chase's contract together in 1 year? It's less than that number. It's less than that $100 million. So they can sit there and talk about all day they don't know what they're doing when it comes to having a quarterback make this kind of money. Well, that's not necessarily true because just the money from 2020 to now is paying for Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and almost all of T. Higgins per year. And it's going to go up again this year. So you can't tell me that. With the salary cap going up this year, it's probably going to pay for all three of them. And so they're probably going to have, I'm going to say $80 to $90 million in cap space because of, because I think right now they're 70 some.
Always way up there.
You know what I mean? And that's not they're not projecting 2026 calorie, because they don't know that yet. So it's probably going to be closer in the 80s or 90s. And you're telling me they can't fix this in 1 year? This is the year where you've already drafted, right? So Zach Taylor, in his bright mind, said the other day in his press conference that this draft class he's hit. He physically said that they hit on this draft class this year alone, and it makes everybody shake their head. So if you say you've done that, then guess what? We're not worried about the draft end. You better go in free agency, and you better get the veterans to come in here and help mold these guys. So as we look at being cheap, no. That they're not going to be cheap. They're going to be within $18 million of the cap. They're going to hold money back. That's another thing that you're not thinking of. Hell, they've got what? Yeah, they got $12 or $15 million carryover. So they're going to have plenty of money. They'll if they wanted to redo the whole defense, they could almost do it. And which they probably should. But it has nothing to do with them being cheap. I want to throw them out there. I want to look at it, and I think it was 208. In 22 is what the cap was. So just 22, it's went up $70 million, which is Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, almost. So there you go.
And most owners, probably all owners, know that it's going to do that way before it does.
Sure.
They understand what the TV revenue looks like and all that kind of stuff. I don't think it's a good thing for the league, but they've got plenty.
But it is what it is. You might as well use it to your advantage if it's there, right? And you have to use a certain percentage of the cap anyway.
There's a floor. And, so I think that just debunks all that. And, those contracts, old school wise, you could say paying two receivers and a quarterback does you in. I talked to Uncle Terry, the aforementioned Uncle Terry. It doesn't now. Not now. If the cap stayed the same,
Yeah, sure.
But it's going up and it's going to go up. So they got, there's no excuses. They can't really blame that on it externally or internally, right? Well, we signed these, that's why we're not good. That's just not true.
Not true
at all. Not
all.
good because you don't know how to fucking draft, pardon my French. And you got a coach that doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
Yep.
We'll get to that in a second. Zach Moss, man, I keep bouncing in and out.
I'm hoping it's still recording because that's going to expect when I go to produce
it. So Zach Moss made some comments that worst franchise in all of sports. I think is what he said. I don't know why he didn't have an axe to grind, really, and I don't know why he's saying that, because I thought from Burfield that he got hurt, they kept him around a little bit, gave him a shot, didn't say he
I mean, they could have gave him an injury settlement ordeal. They didn't. They kept him around. And hell, they did cut him. Or, I mean, they restructured his contract, I think.
Oh, maybe that's what he's talking
Yeah, then they
about.
end up cutting him.
It could be that, or I think he's speaking more on a macro level, where how they do the little things. You know, they caught some beef, I guess you could say, pun intended, about the food there and everything else, right, in the building. You know, I do think they're cheap, where it doesn't make any sense to be cheap. It's stupid to look at.
Pennies on a dollar.
It doesn't make the team good or bad, right?
Right.
Free agents aren't coming there because of that, or we're not coming there because of that. But I do think it's a bad look. You know, they could squelch a lot of this again by getting up from a PR standpoint and speaking like any other business in the world would do, right? You get that situation, you have somebody, they got people on staff there, PR people that craft those letters, legal or otherwise. Just get up and speak once or twice a year. You can crush a lot of that, right?
Yep.
And if they don't agree with you, they'll still be nicer and ease up on you when you speak about it. You know, you're leaving them, again, free to say whatever they want. There's no back check on it, right? Just it's not smart business wise, and I just don't think they have anybody in the building, again, that knows football for sure, but also just doesn't know basic business. It's a weird, and you know, you gotta, maybe that is cheap, where you put people in there and pay them to speak up for you. Whether it's if you got a president of football operations, he's taking care of that right now, right? He's taking care of that for most organizations. It's not always owners and stuff. So bouncing in and out, I'm gonna have to figure this out and come here, but. And then, you know, Burrow's comments, you know, I thought about this a lot since we were together last, and then he spoke out again. I don't know if he's doing it on purpose. It feels like it, to apply pressure, because it certainly feels like it. And he can't, I love Joe. He's my favorite player in the NFL. So I don't, you know, he does the old shucks, I just want to play football. They're trying to get me. But when you're as big a name, and he knows this, when you're as big a name as he is in the sport, I heard Florio and Sims talk about it a little bit. Kind of echo my thoughts. What I was going to say is that when you're that big of a name, people are going to react to it, and he knows that, right? So Florio's take, of course, he's anti-Bengals always. He said that he probably wouldn't even play there if he's from Athens, Georgia, not Athens, Ohio. Forced his way in the draft. I don't believe all that nonsense.
I don't either. That's ridiculous.
Speculation at best. But could he be laying the groundwork for 2 years from now if they don't do what he wants to get out? Hey, I told you guys. He could be. That is a possibility. And you know, from a business standpoint, they do it all the time. They throw it out there, see who's nibbling it, how it's digested, and then you can look back and say, hey, I told him, and then you're not as a bad guy as like Carson Palmer was. That was his take on it. And Sim's take was similar, like, you know, Burrow's got to know that's going to create that reaction. You know, oh, of course we think of everything. You know, he seemed beat down a little bit, but I also think I think he knew what he was doing. I think he thought he knew he knew what he was going to say before he said it. It came across different. And then, you know, this part I agree with Florio and Sims too. Like, if that question is asked of Allen, Mahomes, Herbert, are they answering it that way? They're not. So that is an indictment on the Bengals, right? They're not answering that way. None of those guys are. Lamar, they're not saying, well, you know, I thought about playing another team. You know, so I think he is needed on the organization a little bit. Why? I don't know. Who knows what's going on behind? Everybody just thinks him and Zach are buddies, because he's not going to come out again and be the bad guy. It could be aimed at Zach. It could be aimed at Duke, something else. But I think it was clearly an arrow. 1, 2, 3. So I think he had an arrow in his holster, and he gently shot the arrow. I don't think it was by chance. Your thoughts?
So Joe is a very complex individual. So we know for sure, you know, with all his pulses and how he'll look up at the ceiling and he looks around and so he's really precise on how he says things. He absolutely knew what he was doing. But I do think sometimes the way he says things and the way he perceives things isn't the way everyone else perceives it, the way he's trying to, you know, say it. I don't, when he said, I think a lot of things, you always think things like that. It was something like that, right? He's just telling the truth. You know what I mean? I guarantee you, Mahomes, Allen, they've all, in their mind at one time, have thought of that scenario. It may be for a split second or whatever. Joe's like, well, yeah, I've thought about that. I've probably thought about a lot of different things. You know what I mean? Just like when they asked him about football and how long he was going to play. Well, now he says, well, I plan on playing for a long time.
Yeah.
At a high level. You know, what? Yeah, was it aimed? Is it a push? It is 100% an aim and a push. But I don't think it meant to be quite as blown up. I mean, as it was portrayed. I don't. I think it's just enough, right? But let's be honest. They did do the things he wanted to do. I think they will try and do things a little different, just because of Joe and where they're at. Because let's be honest. I'm not so worried about Joe in this era because Joe may play till 35, 37. Let's hope that's with the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm more worried about T and Jamar.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Those are the players that's going to diminish.
Their windows are shorter.
Yeah, their windows are way shorter. Probably more for T than Jamar because he lacks speed anyway. If he loses a step, it's probably significant, right? Jamar loses a step, he's just as fast as everybody else in the league. He just comes down to their level, so he can still catch his 90 balls a year for 1,200 yards or whatever, just not be that elite guy. Be play for Arizona. Help me out. Fitzgerald. Still be super productive at 38 years old or 35 years old, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Those are the things that I'm more worried about other than wasting Joe. It's just, I will say this, and you can mark this down right now. If in the next 2 years, maybe even 3, if Joe Burrow leaves because of this organization and then how it's ran, I'm done. 100% done. I will promise you I am done because I done went through this too many times. I done went through too many, Carson Palmer was a top 3, top 4 quarterback in the league for a long time. And he basically just said, you guys are so stupid, I don't even want to be around here.
He sure did.
And
they came out, Bengals came out all right.
And they did, but again, they couldn't even win a playoff game.
No.
They were average, to above average for 5 or 6 years, and then it went to shit again. And then here we are again, and guess what? It's going to shit again. So, and a lot of teams do this. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they just, you need to win something, though.
Yeah.
You can't just be happy with being above average or being a good team, and then rebooting and then doing it again, rebooting. I mean, let's win something. Let's be in LA. I mean, if you're going to go out and spend all the money, let's win a Super Bowl, have a couple down years, come back. Here they are again.
Yeah.
They got the coach, they got the organization, and of course they've got the money and the same salary cap everyone else has got, brother.
It's not baseball.
No.
Yeah, it's I'm going to hit on that. I think when you build a team, in my opinion, the first thing you got to do from a championship level standpoint is get a franchise quarterback. That's the hardest thing to do.
Check mark.
They lucked into it, or whatever. They lucked into it because you look back at the expansion Browns, right? Came in '99, or the Bengals right then, and it was Achille, it was Tim Couch and Achille. Of course, you could have had McNabb, so I guess that argument goes away a little bit. But if you come in the year before, it's a slam dunk Peyton Manning, or if you're a little bit later, it's not McNabb and it's Ryan Leaf. So, but the top pick. If you're bad in '98 and it's Peyton Manning, your whole fortune changes. If you're bad in '99, I guess you could have picked McNabb, and it does, but it wasn't. It was Couch and Achille, either one, right? Now your fortune doesn't change. They were bad at a very good time. If you were bad this past year and it's Cam Ward and Jackson Dart, and Dart's way down, Cam Ward up there, it's just bad luck, right? I mean, maybe he'll turn. He's going to be Burrow. So a lot of it, they got lucky, right? And they got lucky. Wasn't lucky that Burrow got hurt, but it worked in their favor long term to get Jamar the next year, right? So they've been lucky. And, the second hardest part, or most important part, in my opinion, is the head coach. You can say GM and all that kind of stuff, but if you get a real bona fide elite head coach Whether it's Andy Reid, Belichick, I think Sean McVay's in that. I think he's in their realm. I honestly do. We'll see how long he can hang in there. He quote unquote got his love back for the game because he goes pretty hard. Reminds me of Emil, who we mentioned a couple weeks ago. He had to retire twice because he feels it goes so hard, right? McVay's young, but I think he's that level. And they don't fall off. If they do fall off, it's not for long, right? Once Walsh got Montana, they didn't really fall off. They had stiff competition. It was hard, but they were there every single year. Chiefs until this year, every single year. Brady was there every year, right? So I think if you have Allen's going to be in the mix every single year, that's how the Bengals should be, right? If you have a sucky head coach, which I don't think the Bills head coach is that good, you should still be kind of in the mix, right? And their franchise, the way it's operated, whether it's the coach and the GM, I think, it's going to be 3 years in a row not making it, right? And you say, well, Burrow in there, they're 17 and 15 with it. That's my arguments in my back pocket. I got it right. 17-15 sucks with a franchise quarterback, right?
Yep.
That's horrible. Horrible. Just a bad. So, Steve Boy, let's take a deep breath and drink a beer. What do you say?
I couldn't wait to get this damn segment. I was like, shut up so we can drink a beer.
We need it.
So we're drinking today Muskie. It's a lager. The company is Burger Beer. All for one, it says.
It's a Xavier
beer. Yeah. So Muskie. Let's drink it. I like it.
Donation from a friend of the show, Alana. Hi, Alana. Thank you so much. And I'm going to say this about Alana. It's a nice donation of your beer, but your team sucks. You see what Xavier did last night?
I heard about it.
Got beat by 40-some points at home. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's bad.
Take that, Tino. I like it.
I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 Who Days.
That's good. I'm about the same. I like it. Lagerhead. I'm smoking a Perdomo Habano. Habano means it's made out of Cuban tobacco, my friend. You can find us on YouTube, BTD Podcast, Bengals, if you're just listening to us. If you're watching us, you can also find us on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, and all the rest of your favorite streaming apps, podcast apps. If you want to sponsor this show, we are looking for sponsors, either locally, nationally, globally. Globally. If you're in Russia and you're selling something on the spot, hey, give me this a ring. You can find me on, just email me, might be easier, Scott, SCOTT _Dryden, @yahoo.com. Just put the subject as sponsor. I will do my best to find it. We'd give out my phone, but I don't want a bunch of crank calls. Do you, Steve?
No. I mean, I want you to get them, but I don't want them.
Get a bunch of them anyway. All right, that's where you can find us. That's to review that pathetic game against the Baltimore Ratbirds. I'll start real quick and I'll turn it over to you. The thing that stood out to me we'll go offense first. Obviously, Joe didn't play his best game. He's pretty hard on himself as being a leader. But also, I thought Orlando Brown was horrible. I thought he should have had about 6 or 7 false starts, and he's done that every week. He's getting away with it the vast majority of the time. They don't call him like they used to. They did, and then they quit. He got one, but he got his ass handed to him a bunch of times. So did Mims. And the funny thing is, people say, "Well, it's Baltimore. You're living in the past. These ain't your father's Baltimore Ravens," because they suck on defense. And you look at their pressure rates, you look at their quarterback hits. Everything all year's been horrible. Mm-hmm. I think they hit him 7 or 8 times. Draymond Jones from Ohio State was giving him a hard time. People made a big deal out of their friends. If you look at the last game, he played at Ohio State when Joe was there. He was wolfing a little too much for my liking. I would have punched him in the face. The lineman didn't really step up. But just a horrible game from the offensive line, didn't run block enough. And again, they do this every year with Baltimore. The media jump on. They turn the corner. It's more who they're playing. Of course, the Bengals have been playing well offensively. I don't believe in them. But the offensive line was horrible. No creativity by Zach. We've talked about it before. Zach is again, no joke, all jokes aside, Walter Matthau is dead, so we won't pick on Walter. But if you, me, Brian Callahan, Dayball, anybody else is coordinating the Bengals with Joe Burrow and them there, you should score 25 points in your sleep. So people give Zach credit for that. Anybody can do it. He has no creativity. You watch Ben Johnson, I'm telling you, Bears might lose the rest of their games. I'm not saying that. I'm saying his creativity to take the pressure off Caleb Williams with the run game, the different looks, how they run the ball, the reverses, the play actions, everything they do takes a lot of the pressure off the quarterback. Why? McVay does the same thing. Because they know what the hell they're doing. Zach is, hey, just go win it for us, Joe. That's a lot of pressure on the quarterback, especially when your offensive line is struggling. They didn't ship. We talked about this year after year, right? Didn't ship. Didn't give any help. He's getting the hell beat out of him. Cody Ford comes in. It's even worse. Just a putrid job by Zach Taylor and the offensive line. Your thoughts on the offense?
Yeah, Joe didn't do very good on his line calls either. He said it in his presser. He said there was like the free runner for the sack. That was his protection call.
Yep.
There was multiple ones where, because remember, every time he goes to the line and he's saying something to those who may not know, he's not changing just the call. He's changing protections too, right? And he does that pretty much on every play, unless the protection is perfect when he comes. And I'm gonna say probably 75% of the time, there's no way it's perfect,
They're
right?
showing different looks.
Yes.
Yes.
So he's changing it from what he's seeing. So he says he did not play well all the way around. Orlando Brown was not good at all. He was not good. He's slow. He has really come up with. You're right. I seen 6 or 7 at least, and I kept telling. I was like, man, he keeps getting away with that false start. He keeps getting away. I mean, just a slight raise, right? But it's just enough to where it's a get off for that defensive end. I thought Mims played okay until he got hurt, and he didn't come back in. But I thought he played okay. None of them run blocked very good. It just wasn't there. I still think P. Ryan does a pretty good job finding them little wrinkles, and you know what I mean. I don't know why Chase struggles with that. I think P. Ryan had 2 or 3 runs where he was like 6 yards, 8 yards. That one was probably like a 12 or 13 yard
Fast
game.
and hard.
Yeah. I don't know. Chase is shuffling his feet, and he's not hitting the hole like he was, and he's running the back of his guys. We talked about that last week. Not sure why that is. The offense.
Miserable.
I wanted to turn it off, but it's kind of like what me and you have talked about. There was 4 games left, right? And I'm like,
only 17 games, only 18.
And I'm like, in 3 weeks there isn't going to be football. So even if I see one good drive, a good catch, Joe play good for a series, you know what? It's more than I'm going to see in 5 weeks when we're sitting on the couch, have to watch other teams play, or not watch them at all. Because I may not. I may just tune out. And
teams I like.
Yeah.
Especially if only Pittsburgh. And so the hatred, right, which we'll talk about, could only be possibly, probably will be only Pittsburgh. Baltimore out, Kansas City out. Then you only have one team to root against. You kind of sit back and enjoy it,
Mm-hmm.
Here's something for you. I'm sure somebody talked about this, and I haven't listened to it like you do, but the Bengals had 76 offensive plays.
Oh, yeah, the time of possession, what was it?
I don't know.
It's 38 to like 20-something.
76 plays to Baltimore's 41. And
Yeah.
you get shut out.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
I mean, that is unbelievable.
And again, I don't know the number for sure, but I thought time of possession, it was like 40-something to 48 to 22. And I'm not 100% sure Baltimore had the ball in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, it's just embarrassing. It's big plays is part of that. You give up.
And because you can't, you're getting 3 yards, 3 yards, 3 yards, 3 yards because you're going for it on 4th down, right?
39 to 12.
Okay. I knew it was something super crazy. 39. That's.
But you got outgained by 19 yards. You had 76 plays and had 41, whatever I said. Time possession 39 to 20, and you get outgained. Yeah,
it's because
that's the weirdest box score.
Very weird box score. Just a weird game in general. And what was the thing of it is, you never felt like they was really in it. Yeah. Like when they come back, it just didn't feel like they were even in the game. It felt like they hit the quit button. You know how like on Xbox you used to hit the mail button so you could hit quit. That's what it felt like they done. They felt like they just pushed the button and said, okay, I'm going to go down and hit quit, but I'm going to go out here and go through the motions. I will say this. Let's not underestimate how cold 5 fucking degrees is.
Oh, my gosh.
You know what I mean?
You got to be able to run the ball, be a physical team, and they're not.
Yeah. So, I listen to a bunch of podcasts, right? There hasn't been a bunch said. They just talked about how bad it was. It wasn't like Baltimore did anything spectacular. They Pick six.
They ran the ball.
Yeah. They that was it. They ran the ball and they got their defensive.
Lamar's back. Lamar, what he said, 130 yards. That's what he does.
And that wasn't why.
Yeah.
I mean, he threw 11 balls or whatever
Yeah.
it was. You know, it's not like, and he didn't kill it for no reason at all. I mean, Zay Flowers dropped the one that was picked by,
Yep.
by Battle again. I mean, that was it. The only difference is we didn't run that one back for a touchdown,
Yep.
and Joe's was. So the issue is they ran the ball, the Bengals didn't. They were physical, the Bengals wasn't, and that was the difference in the football game.
Yeah, a coach like Zach Taylor, and I saw somebody stealing this from Twitter. Some guy said, it's pretty funny. He got on the Bengals posted about Zach Taylor's press conference coming up, and he quoted, he said, hey, if you want to save all your media guys some time, just play his podcast or play his press conference from last week. It's all the same. Play the one from 5 weeks ago. It's all the same. And I agree with him, right? I can't stand the guy. I'm trying not to make it personal, but it's getting pretty difficult for me. Because I didn't like him from the beginning. I just don't like that style. I don't want to say a person, because that's a little extreme. I'm a coach, right? But I tell you, somebody I know pretty closely saw him thinks that this person saw him at missions at a local high school. So he thinks he's coming back. Because at the Catholic schools, you go in, he's already there doing all that stuff. But if he has to take him out, he's used to that anyway as head coach. So strange game. And then the defense, not good. But one final, to wrap that up, like, if you're a team that can do everything like a Ben Johnson and these coaches are really know what they're doing, you see the weather, that's their biggest fault. You got to be able to run the ball in that type of weather and do stuff, right? And it's a cold weather city and you're playing in physical division still, whether they're good or not. So very disappointing. Some early pressures, the thing, I'll go through this real quick and get your thoughts, but talking to Uncle Terry and various others, like Baltimore doesn't believe in Miles Murphy or Joseph Asai. Go back and watch it. I watched all 22 and I saw it live and I thought, mental note. They were just, the reason they played well in large part, Baltimore was just putting the fullback and the tight end on him. Every play. To their credit, they beat him because Murphy wasn't beating those guys earlier, but they didn't think they could impact the game at all. And Knight either, right? They're just like, see what you can do. Ultimately, they didn't, but those guys played pretty well. But the overarching summary of this is, as you think about the long play by Mitchell to run, Jordan Battle's in the hole. If that's Caleb Downs, that's a 3-yard gain. How's that change the game? Think about that. Jordan can beat his chest all he wants and get 18 interceptions. I don't care. In the hole, he misses the tackle. He didn't even come close. Mm-hmm. Was that a third-string running back, second-string running back? Made him look like he had concrete in his boots, right? So one player right there, I told Terry this, like, they can't do it, they wouldn't. They're not smart enough to do it anyway. But if they drafted Caleb Downs, traded back up in the second round and got McDonald from Ohio State, take 2 Ohio State players, that whole defense is different. Those 2 players change everything. They wipe everything up in the middle, McDonald would, and Downs tackles everything. Problem solved. So we knock on the defensive line for obvious reasons, but you've got linebackers that can't tackle, and you got safeties that can't tackle. Name a team that can win with that. They can't tackle. Knight played better. Brian Jackson, he made a good play. They're up 17-0. He makes a nice play. I'll give him that. You're down 17-0. Getting your ass waxed, as an old player used to say. And you're up, instead of high-fiving your teammates and walking off, you're looking at the crowd beating your chest. That's where we miss a Von Bell and those kind of guys. A Pratt. Shut up, dude. We're getting our ass kicked. Get the hell off the field, right? Mm-hmm. They do not have that dog on there right now. Those young guys should shut the hell up because you're not doing enough. Battle's the same way. He makes one play, he whips on 10 in a row, and he's beating his chest, right? Be excited, give your teammates vibe, but get the hell off the field. And, the screenplay, that was a miscommunication by Carter. Awful. They didn't talk about it on TV. You go back and watch it. Turner goes out. He goes out too. He goes in. Guys wide open, boom, touchdown. It's just they haven't. I have a little bit of hope for Knight. I think Asai, I'd bring him back. I think I have a little bit of hope for Murphy. Carter, I don't know, man. He's just, it might be a lost cause. Your thoughts?
I don't have much hope for any of them. It's probably Turner.
He's had a really nice year.
Turner, Murphy. I think we've seen enough of Asai. I think he's just, for what he's going to cost,
somebody might pay him.
Probably 10, 12, $14 million. Yeah, he might get that. I just don't. I don't see why we can't get that at a cheaper price. I could be wrong. I mean, he may go somewhere else and tear it up. I don't know.
He's put a lot of pressure this year. He doesn't
He,
finish.
he doesn't finish, and it's not all about finishing. I mean, we
Pressure
understand that,
matters. Yeah.
but what that does is that opens up for Shamar to come in and try to stay freaking healthy and come in.
Hope he plays.
Hope he does too. I hope he gets these 3 games in, but hopefully he can come in, get a bunch of snaps, kind of like what Murphy's doing. It's raw. But with all this being said, I mean, Carter's not good. I don't think he's going to be good. He looks absolutely lost out there.
He looks like he's never played a game before.
Yeah.
He looks like he's signed like they used to. Signed some track and field athlete. And he's figuring out how to play football. Right?
Yeah. See, Knight doesn't look that way to me.
No.
Carter does.
Oh,
I mean, I think he's pretty much wearing a dot too. So it just doesn't. They're just not very good. I mean, Geno Stone, he's got to be the worst free safety that I've seen play for this team for a while.
the touchdown, his angles is
Just awful. Leg getting there, play recognition, right? Like there's some plays it's like I'm looking at it going, how did you not see? Like what was in front of you to make you not do your responsibility and cover that back half of the field, right? That's his responsibility. What did you see that was not your responsibility? That's what I don't understand, and how he just continuously.
He's a shiny object. Oh, shiny object. Good chase.
And but how is that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I don't understand. So yeah, I don't have a whole lot of faith in the defense. I really don't have a whole lot of faith in them fixing it. I don't have a whole lot of faith in the organization. I don't have a whole lot of faith in anything that they're doing right now. They're going to have to show me, because like I said, if something happens and if Joe says he's done and I'm done too, because I ain't going through this no more. Because like I said, I bleed orange and black, and I'll start bleeding. I don't know.
What are you going to do with that tattoo?
Well, I figured I'd just chew my arm off, and I won't even. I won't even have to worry about doing anything at work. You know what I mean? They'll give me some kind of special.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You'll get hurt accidentally, chop your arm off, amputation.
Yeah, I'll be
No
like,
tattoo.
I don't know why I don't know why this alligator when I was in Florida ate my arm
Yeah,
off.
it's weird. This video pops up, you sticking. Come here, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So, yes, that's the Baltimore game. It was definitely ugly. I think it's best from them that they lost, but losing like that is pretty hard to watch. All right, we move on. We're going to talk about Zach Taylor's resume, and we'll move on to the Dolphins game. A couple thoughts there. Playoff picture around the NFL. Some interesting stuff. The NFL's it has been a different season, so if you're tired of the same old, you're kind of getting that, which is good. I like some of the teams to be. So, real quick on Zach Taylor's resume, I'll read out the bullets and see what you think about this resume. So, you started, if you're him, hey, I went to the Super Bowl. Hey, I went to 2 AFC Championship games. And you can't take that away from him. He did it, right? It's facts. All right, moving on. Worst loss this year in franchise history, followed, as we said, by even a worse performance than this against Denver. First time his team, the franchise, think about how bad they've been. First time they've been shut out since the opener in 2017. That's his resume. He's 50, 62, and 1. That's a 447 win percentage overall. Equates to 7.5 wins a season. That's not good, Stevie boy. Without Joe Burrow, I think I got this right. I'm going to have to look this up again. I think he's 9-30.
That's probably close.
230 win percentage, dude. That's 4-13, right? That's an expansion level. Name one other franchise where that survives. It doesn't. In any sport. That's where I'll go, Zach Moss is right. Since 2023, which you've heard me mention, he is 17-15 for a 531 win percentage, essentially a 9-8 season with a franchise quarterback over. That is just it. You think about like years ago. You know, if you watch The Last Dance, it's not apples to apples basketball and all that stuff. But, you know, history, people think of that different now. It was a no-brainer that they fired Doug Collins and went to Phil Jackson. That's not true. They just went to the Eastern Conference Finals. Krause said, hey, we're not good enough. We're not going to get past this until somebody makes this the team. Sound familiar? Jordan is doing everything. We need somebody he'll listen to that'll come in and make this a team. So we'll do our best. Phil Jackson, in a column written back in '89 or whatever that was, Sam Smith said, you can read it, you can still find it. Phil Jackson's one of the only two people in the building that he's definitely going to listen to. Jordan. That's Michael Jordan, right? You leave it. I think Burrow will listen. I don't think he's driven like Jordan was. But think about that. You think about the NFL. The Cowboys got rid of Tom Landry. And that seems like a no-brainer with the record. That's Tom Landry, dude. Jerry Jones is a jerk. Absolute jerk. Didn't handle it right. Landry's a legend. They're all over Jimmy Johnson. What happened, right? Most franchises are not going to sit around with a coach like that eating up their quarterback, right? He'd already been gone. He would have been gone last year, right? So I think they're afraid of change. I think they're afraid of someone else coming in. And that is an ownership issue. It has nothing to do with money. I think they're afraid of that. Zach Taylor's ass should be gone. Duke Tobin's ass should be gone. You turn that resume in as Zach Taylor's, what kind of job do you get? College assistant?
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe a MAC job? A head coach job in the MAC? Maybe. It's ridiculous. Same old. What do you say? Believe in us. Believe in us. We're going to turn this around. You've had 3 years, dude. 22 and 21 are the past. You've had 2 good years your whole entire time there. So 3 years in a row, you've underachieved. 3 years in a row. And you can put some of that on Tobin, but a lot of that's on you. Get their ass out of the building. Sanitize the damn building. Get a real head coach in there. Suppose he's got an extra year on his contract. I don't know if you saw that.
I did.
He wouldn't comment on it. But it's the same old rhetoric over and over and over. I just don't know how. I'd go into that building as a player and I'd be like, I'm so tired of hearing this idiot. Like, it's the same old bullshit. There's no motivation. Like, part of it's coaching players individually and developing the whole team, and you're not an offensive coordinator. And think about it. If you're an offensive coordinator like he is really, you're tied to Burrow, but you're too close to him probably, right? He's not that guy who can stand back as a head coach and criticize him. He's not going to do it. He doesn't have the balls to do it anyway. I don't need media. But he's not going to get it. When Burrow snapped at him at the Titans game, you saw Zach's reaction. Oh, it's okay. I'd have fired his ass that day. When I saw that video, and I'm the owner, and I saw Burrow mad because they didn't win, or they played awful in an ugly win, and Zach's, well, we got the win. His ass would have been gone. Your thoughts, Stevie boy?
So this
you
is
still
again.
don't think it's going to happen, though, right?
Oh, it's not going. 100% ain't going to happen. Duke ain't going nowhere, and Zach is 2 more years. They're not paying a coach 2 more years, especially when your defensive coordinator that he just hired, that you are keeping, has got 2 more years on his contract. So they're both through the 27.
Don't do it. You're really wasting the window.
Yeah, and they asked Joe about that, and he kind of hauled around, didn't say a whole lot about it. I watched his presser yesterday. I'm really, really sick of this segment because Zach is. I don't really don't even know what to say. Zach isn't what you would call somebody that I dislike. I think the players like him. I think he's a decent offensive coordinator. He is by far an elite offensive coordinator. I'm not sure that if he didn't have Joe Burrow, that his offense wouldn't be a little bit more dynamic. And I mean that because I think Joe says, this is what I want. I don't necessarily think that it's Zach because they do things at times and I'm like, well, why don't you do it all the time? Well, I think it's because Joe's saying, look, I want to read out the defense. This is what I want to do. This is what makes me feel comfortable. Because when Flacco was in there, they did some different stuff. When Browning was in there, they did some different stuff. And I thought, well, if Joe's doing that kind of stuff, then it would probably help him out. But then when Joe comes back, everything goes back to exactly the way it was. So what's the common denominator? Joe Burrow. I'm not saying, I do not think he's a great head coach. I just think he's just okay. That's not what we're looking for, though.
I don't even know if he's okay.
That's not what we're looking for. We want championships. We want. We've never won one. I'm sick of it. I remember when they won the AFC Championship. Me running out the door and running through the yard like a freaking idiot, screaming and hollering, thinking, oh my God, this could actually happen this year. You know what I mean? I want that again.
It's going to be a dynasty, right?
Right, and that's
not that they win it that year, but they're going to be in it.
Yes, and then the next year they go to the AFC Championship, right? So you're thinking, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I've seen this before. I've seen how teams have a couple years and then it goes to shit because of mismanagement and so I'm not a fan. It's not that I dislike, but so this is what it all comes down to, and I'm gonna tell you guys as I'm gonna tell my buddy over here. We might as well get used to it. This is who we've got. This is the way it is. If you're a Cincinnati Bengals fan, this is what you got to deal with. If you don't like it, all we can tell you is you might as well just shut the radio off, shut the TV off, because guess what? We're running it back, baby. We're running it back because that's what they're doing.
You might be right. I don't know. I don't know if Burrow.
I'm 100% right. I'm 100% right, brother.
I hope not.
You know?
I think, I wrote another letter to Katie, trying to get her ears to perk up.
I bet Duke Tobin right now is over at Katie's house eating fried chicken and mashed potatoes and gravy and drinking a cold one because that's who they are.
That means more to him than winning.
Yeah, he's family.
Yeah. I think, a guy I didn't mention, though, you throw Robert Saleh in this. He had a rough time with the Jets. He won 7 games 2 years in a row.
Everybody has a rough time with the Jets.
Yeah, and he had the Rodgers dilemma and then Zach Wilson, right? And his record, you look at Stefanski coming in this year, Stevie Boy, and still close to the same record as Zach Taylor, career-wise. Think about what he's dealt with up there. His career record is very similar to Zach Taylor. That's not an indictment. I don't know what is, right? Mm-hmm. And you look at, I would bring Mentor in. You think about Brian Flores in the AFC North, right? The way he coaches, physical, aggressive. Him, Halfley, Saleh, I'd take those guys. Marcus Freeman's getting a lot of steam right now. Notre Dame's worried. Did you hear the guy come out, the AD? He's worried. He's not worried about him taking a college job. He's worried. He came out. Again, what did we talk about? You see it there. You get out in front of it and speak. So what did he do? He got on the mic. He knew what was out there. And he said, we'll pay him whatever it takes to pay him. We believe in it. That's how you do things. You get in front of it because he knows NFL teams are going to come running, right? But two of the pretty dangerous. Actually, playing some pretty good football. Guys I like on that team, Waddle's still in there. Obviously, Hill's out. Waddle's pretty tough, really good player. And then on defense, man, that linebacker, you've seen him play Jordan Brooks. Oh my gosh, that dude's everywhere.
Yeah.
Knocking some heads. You got Jack Jones, you got some guys there, but Minka, I don't think he's going to play.
Yeah, he ain't going to play. He's week to week, but he probably going to play.
I doubt he would. And then, a chain or whatever he is, he could flat out run the ball like that there on retirement. Got some talent, but a rookie quarterback in there. I think the Bengals' chances of winning this one up, and that is not good. We want to lose now, but I'd say not what your thoughts on this. Dolphins game we're looking for, but we're going to lose in your pick, my friend.
So, when I'm here next week, maybe possibly Christmas Eve morning, you know what I mean? And we're sitting here and we're all jolly. We got freaking eggnog, and we're sitting here. It might be spiked. I was just saying we may spike our eggnog. I'm not sure. We may get ready for Christmas Eve. I will say this: the only way that I will be able to tell you about this game is because I'm gonna have to go back and watch the highlights, because I am not watching this game Sunday. I can't watch the game. And I'm going to tell you why. And I'll bet there's all the millions of people that are watching us right now, or maybe not right now because we're recording it, but who's going to be watching us? They're probably late Christmas shopping. And the only day that I have left with me and my wife to do Christmas shopping is Sunday. So I have to finish Christmas shopping for my family, for my kids, for my mom and dad.
Why are you waiting so late, dude?
It's because we don't have time. We don't have time to do nothing. I don't have time to do nothing. She works late. I got to be over here with you on a Wednesday, you know what I mean, and do this. She works on Saturdays, yes. So, but yeah, Sunday, there's a chance I may catch the second half. Probably not. I ain't going to lie to you. It doesn't hurt my feelings. It really doesn't, I will say this. I think the offense, what's the over-under on Joe Burrow's yards? Can you check out real quick? I'm going to say he's got to be over, I'm going to say over 250, 260. And I would take that over. I don't know if I would do the touchdowns, but I think that yardage-wise, I would probably take the over. If it's,
267.
I would take the over on that. I
Yours is
think
183.
I might take the over on that too. Hell, tight. Hell, Waller might get that. But defensively, I still think Miami. I think the over/under is 50.5, 51.
47.5.
Oh wow, it went down. It was probably
4-point favorite now. It was 5. I think it jumped up to 5.
yeah. So, and I think it was just 1.5, 2 days ago with Tua. Yeah. So yeah, big change there. So that's probably the 4 or 5 points. I still think they'll still probably score 20 some points. You know what I mean? And Bengals may score in the high 20s. So just not good, man. It's not fun. I'm just glad it's Christmas time. Get ready to get some time off, spend with family and friends, and drink some beer, play some shuffleboard, and play some pool, and just try to get through this rough month I've had, and between the Bengals and this has been a bad month, brother.
Yes, indeed, my friend. Yes, indeed. So what's your prediction?
I'm going to say the Bengals are probably going to win. I don't think they're going to cover.
Really?
Not now. I think maybe a field goal, 4.5. That's what I have is 4.5. So I don't think they'll cover. I'm going to say a field goal. I wouldn't say at the gun. Miami may get a touchdown late, some kind of garbage, something. But yeah, it's weird to say. They just got shut out 27-0, and Miami was 6-7 with playoff hopes going into Pittsburgh last week. You know what I mean? It's like this. I mean, as bad as what it is, I mean, we've seen how they played against rookie quarterbacks and quarterbacks coming off the bench. So that wouldn't be nothing for yours to come in and throw for 220, 230, a couple touchdowns. I did too. So seventh round pick, you can't beat it. And he must like him because Zach Wilson was backup quarterback the last 3 weeks. Guess what? He's back up again. Yeah, they do.
And then 2 of their bench because injury and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Falls, they wanted to get rid of him. So time to cut the cord there. I don't know what they'll do with Bengals. Probably needs a cord cut as well. Bengals are 9th right now in the draft order. The good news is the Saints play the Jets. So you're going to gain the slot if you lose. Because the Jets, if the Jets beat the Saints, and maybe tied the Bengals if they lost, and the Jets have a higher strength of schedule, so you move up. New Orleans wins, they go to 5. If you lose, you're moving to 8. Good Dolphins. I won't say that while watching it. That's what you need. That's really what you need. You lose that from the house. That's that half.
I still don't think that's the way to fix next year. I really don't. I think Downs makes a big impact, but I think it's free agency. I think that's how they fix next year is free agency. Veterans, guys who know how to play, know how to communicate, can come in there and have some leadership and help these young defensive and for the most part athletic. I mean, they're pretty athletic. I don't think Carter is. I don't even know what they even seen in that guy. But I think Knight's got a little bit of burst to him, man. I know Lamar's not what Lamar used to be, right? But he tracked him down. Lamar was still looking downfield. He wasn't looking to run. They tracked him down. But they got to I think it all comes down to free agency this year and not the draft.
Yep. I want to pick as high as possible and get a Caleb down or something like that.
That's who I want.
What I'm looking at is cut line right around 10. It gets you a little bit of drop off there, I think. But you never know how many quarterbacks are going to go push people down, right? Probably at least 2, more than that today. So right now you are 9-5, picking the Bengals at 11-3. So if you want to know what's going to happen, you want to listen to me as usual on my team. I shall go with the Bengals. Unfortunately, the Bengals win it. I think they win like 27-20. I do think Drew Burrow will put the gadget plays because he's good at this direction, right? Get everything flowing, come back together. He'd be in my opinion. I think he'll start in a few plays.
Yep.
But I think Burrow going to move the ball. They could go the way. I don't know if he's playing or not. We know yet.
Practice.
He should be.
He practiced and Shamar practiced.
Yeah, like he's smart and I know Wilson's test. So. All right, here we go. Out of the 15 games. So we're going to get our picks. We've got the playoffs coming up in the NFL. A lot of big games this Saturday. Remember, you got Oklahoma, Alabama on Friday night. 3 college football playoff games Saturday, and you got 2 big games and 1 big game. Eagles, I'm sorry, Packers and Bears, Saturday night, big interesting game. Like it, love it. You are 20-35 and 29-29, hovering around 500, but if you add my Thursday night picks, we'll go Thursday night first, where I am 9-5, you're 8-6. Who with 1 push? Who do you got on Thursday night football, which is tonight? The Rams see a huge game.
It is.
Huge game.
I got Seattle at home. I got Seattle home.
I like the Rams better as a team, but historically, the road teams in the division do not play very well. On Thursday night football, I don't know if you saw the stuff he came out today, but Nakua's running the half, which is kind of out of character for him. Talking about referees getting. And he said he did something appropriate in his hands. His brother stole a Lakers car, supposedly. I don't know what the hell's going on there weekend in his family. So I'm going to go with the Rams plus 1.5. It's a tough one. It went up. You got an extra half point, but not that really matters probably. So as long as it goes with Seattle, you got 1.5.
1.5 is what I got.
That's a big game. It'll be fun. Tell you what, Clint Kubiak, that's the coordinator, is going to be a hot name. The coaching circle as well. Gary Kubiak, but if you will, over a great coach. But he fired his. See that? Yeah, Lou did a good job. Lou's starting to get that defense going on. His name's out there in the coaching circle.
He is.
I tell you, his coaching may not be bad.
Maybe not.
Because he's a fireball, right? Leader. But they were giving Darwin problems. And Kubiak put the whole offense. You see that? The whole offense around. He's chewing their asses. They start playing better. So don't see Zach doing this. So what do you got in the NFL, my friend? Then we'll do our college football. Radio!
Well, like I said earlier, I think the Bengals are going to win, but not cover. So that's why I'm taking the Dolphins at plus 4.5. Yeah. Also doing Denver at home versus Jacksonville -3.
The Jags are playing well.
They are. It's a tough ride for them all the way out to Denver. It's going to be cold. Unfortunately, Pittsburgh Steelers plus 6.5. That's on the road against Detroit.
Plus 6.5.
That's what I got. And then New Orleans Saints minus 4.5 at home versus the Jets. So I'm pretty much taking everybody at home except for Pittsburgh.
You got 4.5. You got the Saints giving 4.5 versus the Jets.
Yep.
The irony is I bet ahead. So this past week I bought my ranking too. When I went in, I made a 3-team parlay. I won the other game. I did really well. And I bet ahead. I got the Saints really low before Sunday, the next week. And bet ahead. Thinking that. So you never know, right? Sometimes you win those games. So you go Miami, Denver, Pittsburgh, and New Orleans. He got that team playing really well. I'm going to go Saturday night just because I like that game. I'm going to take the Bears. The Bears! So I got it still the same. The Bears versus Packers, huge game. I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers -3 versus the Carolina Panthers. I like that game. Denver and Jacksonville's going to pick that one since you did. I won't. I'm going to go Vikings -3. That's the same.
Well, why does it matter?
Because you suck. I don't want to take your picks. Minnesota, if you want to force me to say what I didn't want to say. I didn't want to dog you. You kept pushing. That's what you get. Vikings.
Ask the question. Simple question.
Jackson Dart. I still like that guy. I think I might have been wrong on him, but I don't know if you saw the clip of him from Brewer preseason. He said, you can't play the way you're playing, kid. I'm telling you, you're going to change your game. He was right. Brewer's maybe down now. He's blackballed with that right now.
Yeah, he is.
Hey, I got the New England Patriots to bounce back +3 at the Ratbirds.
I like that one too. I bet.
Football. All right, CFB playoffs. What you got, Captain Tom?
I'm going to take Oklahoma. That is -1.5 against Alabama.
Oh, Lily, let me tell you about Pete.
I'm going to take Texas A&M. That's against Miami of Florida. That's -3.5.
And move.
Yep. Taking Ole Miss against Tulane, 17.5. And I'm taking Oregon, 20.5 against James Madison.
Ole Miss versus Tulane. Jackson. Yeah, the Ducks. I got the Ducks, for those of you who care. I've got Oregon versus the Ohio State University in a national championship game with the Buckeyes. Send the Nike home. Yet again, take that to the line. My picks in the playoffs are the Sooners minus 1.5 versus the Roll Tide Jackson. Change it up a little bit. I like Miami versus Kansas over 48. What do you think of that? Over 48. Oregon minus 21 and Miss minus 17.5. Either one of us believe in these quote-unquote Cinderella teams. We think these Cinderella teams are going to get, I want to say something dirty here. Cinderella's going to get her ass spanked and sit back home.
Yeah.
It's not appropriate.
It's
That's
very inappropriate.
very inappropriate.
Wouldn't expect anything different from you.
That's right. You'll be inappropriate, you're inappropriate. All right, you got anything else you want to add? As you're thinking about your Bengals stand-up, you're thinking about leaving them, the year, that's flash forward. The year is 2027. Steve's odds and Scott right here on Bang the Drum Podcast, their 185th edition. They forgot theme songs now, they're not doing anything creative. They're mailing it in, they're tired of it. Burrow's getting traded. Zorns is seen on camera with tattoo remover up and down his arm. Your thoughts?
I might do it on air. I may take a knife and just shave it off. Yeah. I mean that would be cool. That definitely gets some hits, I think. Or I'll just let you burn it off with your cigar. That way it gives you like pleasure hurting me.
Like a branding thing.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, whatever. No, so this has been a tough year, and like I've said 3 or 4 times on this podcast this year is, this is more than just 17 weeks, 18 weeks playoffs. This is off season, studying up, trying. It's just a lot that we've put in. And for it to end up like it is, I mean, it's so heart-wrenching. Yeah. I mean, the Jeep we can burn. Like we can
trade you Jeep in. Your arms are on.
I prefer burn it. I mean, that would be much funner. Yeah, I mean, you have insurance. I mean, that would. That'd be cool. Yeah. I mean, whatever you're up to. But no, it's a pain in my ass. I'm sick of it. I want it to change. I want to see change. We're not going to see change. So the only change that can happen is within the organization and a culture that they maybe necessarily don't believe in, but what they should change to, if that makes any sense. And they may not believe in what the change needs to be, but they need to change it anyway because what they're doing isn't working, and Joe even said that in his presser. It's not working. And I'm sick of it, and to the point now where I'm telling you, if we lose Joe and we go back to some piss poor, 3 backups, you know what I mean? I'm done. I'm not doing this no more. I'll save my Sundays and spend it with my lovely wife that I love very, very much, and that'll be the end of it. I don't think it's going to happen, but that's what I'm saying. But if it does, we got video here. Yeah. I also said I was going to cut my arm off. So.
Like my shirt, at least?
Yeah, I love it.
All right. Let's wrap it up on that note. Amputation. Wrap it up on amputation.
So for all you out there, amputees with just one arm. Yeah. Also, traffic. Stay to the right. Peace out.
Yeah.